Good morning, Sales Academy, people's followers, listeners, social medias, and everything in between us. Thank you for being here. Today's musing. Today's musing is inspired by a podcast I listened to with Simon Sinek interviewing Ben Francis of Gymshark. Now, I love these guys separately and for different reasons, right? Simon Sinek is um, both to me, both a subtle and brutal bear poker when he's having conversations with people, getting us thinking, acting differently about leadership and about how we grow ourselves and how we grow our teams and relationships. And Ben Francis is a young British business owner who's done exceptionally well by staying in his lane and knowing what he's about, making mistakes and growing with it, right? And I absolutely love both of these guys' approaches. So listen to the podcast episode, which I'll put in the links when I share this up there. I think it's a fantastic podcast episode. Um, but the subject, inspired by that thing, Ben said a comment when he was talking about the gym and what they do as a brand, Gymshark. They went back, they kind of diversified a bit and looked at hiking and different things. And he was saying to Simon, he said, no, we are gym wear, right? We are gym. That's one of their kind of mantras, hashtags, whatever you want. We are gym. Because Ben Francis had a love of it. It's the first place he said in his life that he could see and feel the exact returns for the effort he was putting in. He said in school, because of like different teachers, different subjects or whatever, he could put loads of effort in and still get bad grades. He could put little effort in and get good grades. So it wasn't like directly related. But going to the gym, he felt and found his effort was directly related to the results that he got. So he found a real community in the gym. He found a real camaraderie and support. He was like, he was expecting, is it a toxic environment? Are people going to be competitive? And this, like, no, what he found was people that are all in it together on their own. And he summed it up beautifully. And that's the subject of this musing today, which is I'm going to play it slightly into coaching rather than the gym, right? Because of what we do. If you're being coached, you're on the journey. If you're being coached, you're already on the journey. And that's really the subject of this museum, which I'll go into in a sec. And that came from the comment that Ben made in that podcast interview where he said, look, if you're in the gym, you're on the journey. And it really resonated with me because you don't go to a gym and everyone's buffed, right? You see different shapes, body shapes, sizes, efforts, sweating, struggling, breathing. But if people are lifting and people will hold them and support them and champion them. They walk past and go, keep going if they're seeing them out of puff on the treadmill. That encouragement is there. And it was a fantastic kind of feeling of recognition and credibility and acceptance of what we do as coaches and trainers and leaders and facilitators of people, businesses, organizations, teams, and that because there is a perception that you only get coaching when it's going wrong. If you're troubled, if you're struggling, then get a coach. It's like that's not always the case. But the majority of times people reach out, they're not reaching out because everything's tickety-boo either. And I think we need to shift that, right? There's a movement needed, like there is in that gym movement. I think there's a movement needed in terms of coaching and identity to coaching and the reason for because I wouldn't have got to where I am and who I am and everything without the outside influence of other people, their counsel, their challenge, their support, their encouragement, and them holding my feet to the fire, that accountability. So that's everything that we do as coaches. So if you're being coached, congratulations, you're already on the journey. It doesn't matter who you're getting coached through, from my point of view. It's not about, I want to work with everybody. This isn't about that. This is about if you are on the journey of coaching, don't stop. Don't get to a point and think, right, I've learned enough. I'll stop now. I don't need a coach. Get a better coach. Get another one. Try a different, it doesn't mean better all the time. Get a different coach with a different outlook and thinking that would challenge you differently. One of my friends and a fantastic businesswoman down in South Wales, that she has regularly changed her coaches over the time. And I say this with a loving heart. She's outgrown every single one of her coaches. The coaches haven't kept up with her. And that is a healthy challenge to us coaches. She's dynamic, she's driven, she moves on, she wants that challenge and that growth. So she's outgrown and outpaced her coaches. They haven't kept up. And I think that's a great attitude and a great place to be. So I want to celebrate everyone that is being coached and on a journey of self-development, improvement, and performance improvement, the whole of you, the business, everything, the team, but the whole of you as an individual and stuff, you're on that journey. So if you're being coached, you're on the journey. And that's the movement. That's the identity that I want all of us coaches and coachees to be proud of and be a part of. Think that gym mentality. Let's get that into the coaching industry, right? Let's stop comparing and comparisonitis and all that bullshit. And let's stop all the fake it till you make it shit on Instagram. Let's be real and let's create that safety of psychology in that community. That's what we've built. Other than having kids, Sales Academy is the proudest thing I've ever achieved. It's a community of business owners that grow and share and learn and fail and get up again and go again and successes and business sales and exit plans. And, some people, Ben Francis talked about building 100-year company. My exit strategy is death. One of my clients gave me that idea years ago because it's like that's their exit strategy because they love what they do. They just don't want to die doing it. Same for me. So I'm not building Sales Academy to grow it. I want to be doing this until my dying day. But I work 3 days a week so it's not killing me in the process so I can do other things. That's success to me, not having a yellow Lamborghini because I've redefined my goals. I remember years ago, an ex-partner of mine, ex-relationship said to me, "You've changed." And I was like, aren't we meant to? Isn't that the point? Aren't we meant to evolve and grow? It was said as a criticism. I took it as a compliment. Maybe I should have said, shame you haven't, eh? But anyway, yeah. The point of the music was if you're on a coaching journey, if you're being coached, you're already on the journey. So just stop and congratulate yourself, celebrate yourself, and maybe just lean in with your coach or advisor and just acknowledge that with each other. Just recognize that with each other. Just look at the progress that you've made with the support of other people and acknowledge that. I think there are a lot of coaches and trainers out there that are unsung heroes that are really making a difference to people's lives. They really are. But ultimately, it's you that's doing the work if you're the one that's being coached. You're putting the effort in. You're really putting yourself feet to the fire, challenging through it. What we're holding you accountable. We're not letting you off the hook and all that sort of stuff. But it's like you're putting the yards in. So acknowledge that for yourself and with and for your coach. I think there's a lot of power in that. I think there's a lot of power in recognizing just how far we've come, the skills that we've learned, the mistakes that we've made, the risks that we've taken, the ones that worked out, the ones that didn't. But that sounding board and outside voice and accountability, the community, the support, the growth, all that sort of stuff, that's what it's about. So stay on the journey because you'll reach a plateau. And if things are going great, what do they talk about? If things are going tough, just remember this too shall pass. And if things are going brilliant and everything's coming easy to you, just remember this too shall pass. So don't let the ego take over. Don't believe your own bullshit. Stay accountable. Stay humble. All right. Work with somebody that will challenge you, that you respect their counsel, that will poke you in the ribs, and help you find the joy in what you do and have bloody fun doing it too. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's the music for today. I'm going to go and put some thoughts down and some words to go with this and then shove it on a social media post. But I'm going to pop this up on YouTube and the podcast show as we do. And I look forward to hearing your thoughts and comments on the thread. And also, I'm going to put the podcast that I listened to with Simon and Ben because I think it's a brilliant episode that everyone could benefit from. Building 100-year company. Ben talks about it in that podcast so brilliantly. I don't want to spoil it, but he's like, I was born and bred in Birmingham. I've got Land Rover to the side of me and I've got Cadbury's to that side of me. He said they're both businesses that have been around for over 100 years. Land Rover, what do? They make 4x4s. If they went and did everything else, it weakens who they are, what they're about, and the success. They do 4x4s. Cadbury's makes chocolate, and they've been doing it for over 100 years. But to hear a young person, he's in his early 30s now, and he's going, we want to build a 100-year brand. I want to build a company and a brand that outlives me and outlives my kids. Rather than everyone going, hustle and sell. What's your exit strategy? Oh, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just about finding the joy in doing it 3 days a week. What is your level of success? Stop thinking it's the same as everyone else. In fact, 100% don't follow everyone else's version of success. Define your own. And if you want help with that, come and have a conversation. I'll poke you in the ribs a little bit and help you figure out what it is. or talk to someone else, but get coached. And once you're on the journey, don't step off, challenge yourself to grow and improve. Stay on the journey. Cool. Peace out, guys. Love you. See you soon.